Hello, welcome back to A Thoughts Journey. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that has been brewing in my mind for a little bit now. How to get what you want when it seems impossible. And this is just something that I've been observing that a lot of people feel very, very stuck, including myself. And it's a process I've been working through myself that I found some very helpful information on that I hope will help you in your journey. One of my gifts is being a spiritual seer and being able to see and feel the energies of the people around me. And I observe that there's a state of powerlessness that people feel because of what seems like very real situations being out of their control. And I myself have dealt with that. And I'm just going to show you how I got out of it and how I got into this flow. And so I'm hoping by this title that I'm directly hitting the issue, because I hate when I'm like looking up videos and it's really hard to figure out like what is this about. It kind of feels kind of scammy and it's not really answering the question. So the intention is, when everything seems impossible, when you feel like you have no control over things, how do you get what you want? When you can feel your body and your soul speaking to you and asking you for certain things and you feel like you cannot provide them, what do you do? So the first thing that I learned, by the way, I have my notes down here. The first thing that I learned was clarity. One of the questions that I asked myself is, what if every voice in your head was true? So many of the things that we deal with is not that we need to do more of something. It is that we are simply blocked from being all that the idea of what we already are. So all you have to do is remove the blocks. To remove the blocks, you get clear. To get clear, you simply listen to the voices in your head, or however that manifests, the pictures, whatever. You listen to what they're telling you. And I learned by not assigning them good, bad, indifferent, useful, or not, because what I was doing was rationalizing them instead of like saying, how do we get there? Just listening to them. I feel da-da-da. And every moment of every day, you'll start doing that and it'll start making sense. You'll start seeing a strain, a picture, and then it will start to move in a flow of like, well, we could use this to do this. We could use this to do this. And you'll notice that you have been blocking yourself, because there'll be times where you go, I feel like I need to go to the store, or I feel like I'm drawn to this person on YouTube, but then there'll be a thought that comes into your mind. No, you can't do that. I'm not worthy of that, or whatever. And then you'll just not click on it, even though the provision was right there. So you need to get clear, which is simply listening to the voices or listening to the images in your mind without assigning judgment, without assigning good or bad or how to get it done. Just say, what if every single voice in my head was true? That removes the friction between where you are and where you want to go. The next thing, because from there you kind of get met with hopelessness and frustration, it's make room mentally for the things that you want. And if you can physically do the things that you want to do. Now, through this whole process, you're going to be listening to your intuition. So do not take ever anything that I'm saying or anybody else is saying and implement it in a way that feels uncomfortable to you or that does not feel right. Your intuition will tell you which tools to use when. So I hate when people go, I ask myself, what would somebody who loves themselves do? But that's not the proper question to ask in that moment. And you will feel the friction of like, this doesn't feel right. So don't just blindly take someone's advice, even spiritual people. Your body will know when to implement it. And a lot of times when you're getting videos like this, it'll introduce the topic to you. And then in your life, you'll begin to hear the question that I'm asking at the right time. So just so you know. So make room mentally and physically, but mostly mentally, for what you want, because this is, remember, you feel like you have no control over it, and you might not actually. And what you begin to do is allow your brain to think of what it needs to go. You'll begin to feel excited when it goes to the next step. So you'll notice, let's say you want to make a YouTube video, but you don't know what it's about, but you want the success. Your brain will actually skip over the topic and the logistics of the YouTube video, and it'll go straight to what happens after you get the views, what happens after you get the money. And that will actually, your brain's going to work backwards to figuring out what you need to produce in the front end. Make sense? The next thing is allow yourself to show up authentically. And this is something I wish somebody explained very clearly. Authentically is just doing what you want to do when you want to do it. Trusting your instinct to tell you and to guide you and to know this is what I'm supposed to say. When these words come up, this is the right thing, even though it doesn't seem like it. What you're fearing is the backlash, which is very real. People, especially when you are enlightened. I make my videos for the enlightened. I don't make them for the average collective. So when you are enlightened, when you are connected, when you are high vibrational, you are going to go against the grain. You just are. And you are going to encounter that resistance and that frustration, but you need to trust yourself to show up in any capacity you think you should show up in, and not in what the society is telling you to show up in. The next thing is, which is the important thing, the blocker for me, was surrender to it. And what that means is just giving yourself over to joy. One of the things I realized I was blocking myself from was the ability to get what I want, because I felt like you can't have what you want. This can't be over. This stuff, and nothing's ever that easy. And there's a lot of other fears. And what I learned is I don't actually have to play that game. I don't have to answer those questions or deal with that voice. All I have to do is allow myself, even with the friction, when I see the next thing that brings me joy or happiness or excitement, even if it's just a thought in my mind, to allow myself to move toward it. The next thing is to prioritize joy, prioritize what you want. So there'll be things that come up in your life that you feel are unavoidable. I must get this oil change or else. I must get gas or else. And the thing is, that is an illusion. Now, in the middle of going through it, doesn't feel like an illusion. It feels like the thing literally says 50 miles to E. If I don't get there, then I'm going to be on the side of the road. What you don't realize is your instinct is leading you to a specific destination at a specific time for a reason. Sometimes, yes, that may be true that you have 50 miles to E, but as you're driving and you keep going, you're going to get a Cash App, or you're going to get a Venmo, or somebody's going to offer you something, or you're going to find that something was half off somewhere. Sometimes it's like, you don't even want this car to begin with, so here's what to do next. Your instinct is letting you go the places that align with your highest good, which is the instances that you're trying to manifest. If you keep doing what you've been doing, you will keep getting what you've been getting. If you keep pushing the fear and doing what the fear is telling you to do, you're going to keep getting the results you've been getting. So to get something new, you're going to have to exert a little bit of self-trust to say, let me just see what happens if I drive a little further. Let me see what comes up. Let me see what I notice. And you're going to prioritize that. And it'll get easier, because as you start seeing miracles, or you'll start seeing really the reason why, it'll get easier to be like, yeah, that's not real. I'm just going to do what I need to do. Okay. And, lastly, which is basically the same thing, follow your desire. That's the main thing. You follow your desire. And when you're connected and enlightened, your desire is not one that is carnal, like, something that is going to hurt other people. It's going to feel good, and you may not know why, but you're going to follow your desire even when it looks crazy. And the one phrase that kept flowing in my mind when I was doing this and pushing through these barriers was, as the thought would come up and I would start to reject it, I'd say flow, because what you'll begin to notice, and you've already picked up if you've gone this far in this journey, that one thought leads to another. So you accept the feeling, because that feeling will pass, and then a new enlightenment will come. So flow. And that's the way that I've allowed my brain to accept the thought that I'm rejecting, accept the reality that I'm rejecting, and to move toward my desire even when I feel like it's crazy. So thank you for tuning in today. I'm so happy you decided to join me. If you would like to join me and support me further, you can sign up for my Patreon. I've got lots of fun things planned for you, but the information is down below. I look forward to hearing your comments. Have a great day.